Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chrisley Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. And as always, we are so excited that you've decided to make us a part of your day, but this is an extra special day because I am really excited today to be joined by a director who's got a number of films on his resume that are just like those comfort films you can always go back to and watch over and over and over again. And he's got a new film coming out in AMC theaters now. Ladies and gentlemen, director Mr. Frank Carracci, Francois Dubois.
I've been called worse.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. And you've got your new film, Blended, with Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore opening up, AMC theaters everywhere. I got to ask you, first of all, let's start with this. For people who don't know much about the film, tell us about Blended.
Okay, Blended. I did the wedding scene with Adam and Drew, so we got the band back together. It's about Adam and Drew's character. They're both single parents. Adam has 3 daughters. Drew has 2 boys. And they're both struggling to be a single parent. Adam's, a real jock guy, so his daughters dress in these sweatsuits, and they're really awkward, and they need a feminine touch in their life, and Drew's kids are kind of going off the rails, and they need a masculine touch. Adam and Drew go on a blind date, and it is the worst blind date ever. Thank God to cinematic, we have the ability to elevate things. So it's probably one of the worst blind dates ever. They sort of hate each other through a very strange coincidence. They get to go on the vacation of a lifetime. Their kids want to go away for spring break. They're both kind of struggling working class people, and separately they have an opportunity to take this rich man's vacation, the ultimate vacation, and it's a safari in Africa. And so when they show up at this resort, they realize they have to fake being a couple on a thing called a family moon. A family moon is where married couples, new married couples go, their kids get swept away while they get to be romantic. And the two of them sort of hate each other, and through the journey of South Africa and all this fun, we don't want to give away the ending, but
right.
Things start to work out okay.
Now, what was exciting for me, seeing that you were the director on this film, is that you have directed my 2 all-time favorite Adam Sandler comedies in The Waterboy and The Wedding Singer.
Thank you.
There is you have the ability to not only bring out the best in Adam Sandler, but also, guide the ship, if you will, in such a way that it just utilizes all the best strengths that he has. What was the key for you as a director in bringing the best of Adam Sandler out and really presenting to us in an audience in that kind of a package?
I know Adam for years. We were buddies from NYU, and our friendship was based on, when we met, we made each other laugh. and I kind of get him, he gets me. And I was in film school then, and he was in my student films, and I always wanted to go on and make little artsy Fellini movies. And maybe it's my trying to make an art film while I'm making a big comedy that sort of works. But I guess we just I get him, he gets me. And he really lets me steer the ship in a way that I feel like I can utilize what's great about him. He can really make people laugh. He's some amazing performances over the years. He's done some really powerful performances. So he has the ability to be funny and a really good actor. To get Drew back into the loop again, she's an amazing actress. And in Blended, she's funnier than ever. And in Wedding Singer, she was more the straight man, a little bit, straight woman. And in this one, she does more of the comedy heavy lifting, and she's a pro now. So they go toe to toe. And what's nice about this movie is they get to really take the piss out of each other, which is kind of a different thing for people to see. And that's why I think it's a fresher feeling for a romantic comedy. It tries not to use the typical cliches of a romantic comedy.
Now, audiences have loved seeing this pairing of Sandler and Barrymore together, starting with The Wedding Singer. What is it about the chemistry between the two of them that just attracts audiences to them so much, and how did you utilize that in Blended?
Okay, well, like I said, in Blended, it was a challenge because the first scene I read, they hate each other, and by the end, you have to want them to be together. And so it helped that there's a nostalgic element. They've been on our TV, on our big screens, and we're used to seeing them together. So that helped tell a very hard story of going from hating each other to falling in love. And the other thing about the two of them and why I think they have chemistry is, in some ways, they're really the same in that Drew embodies like love and sweetness, and Adam's actually a very giving, sharing, very Family Guy. So their essence is really nice. But then on the other hand, Drew is soft and sweet, and Adam has that kind of hard-edged comedy. And so it's a yin and yang with an underlying connection between the two of them. So I think that there's some magic that happens there, and there's a respect they have for each other, and yeah, they're just great together. There's no doubt. It makes my job easier.
Now, we let our Twitter followers know that you were going to be on here today, and we asked them if they had any questions for you.
Awesome.
And BoyBoy36 was asking, for Frank, you've worked with Adam Sandler many times. What would you say is the most challenging thing about working with Adam Sandler?
Not laughing when we're shooting. But yeah, or one of the crew members breaking out laughing. I mean, we do have fun, and that is the good part. But I would say that's the most challenging thing. You know, we have a good flow going.
Cynthia Wings 1 is asking, with Drew Barrymore, why is she such a joy to work with?
She's a joy. Like, there's only one Drew Barrymore on the planet. She really is as sweet, and you can't believe that. She's never in a bad mood. She just embodies this, like she's like floating on a cloud all the time. There's a surreal element about her. But she walks in the room, when she hugs you for like extra 30 seconds. It's like she just is that person. So I don't know, that's just her way. It's amazing.
All right, I'm going to save this last Twitter question for a second, but I'm going to get you to do something I like to do. I'm going to get you to put your salesman hat on for a second.
Okay.
For AMC audiences who are looking to go out to see Blended this weekend, why are they going to love Blended?
All right, I think they're going to love Blended because it's a chance to go to South Africa this summer, which is a pretty awesome backdrop. As a director, it was like amazing. But you're going to take a fun ride. You're going to laugh a lot. And, you know, people don't always think about it, but you get emotional. And I think at the end of the day, it sort of has a nice payoff that you get emotional, but you leave the theater laughing. And it's going to be a little bit more, for a romantic comedy, it's not going to use the usual cliches. So there's some unexpected stuff that happens and some different twists and turns than your usual romantic comedy.
Awesome. Well, I love this one, last question that comes in here from Girosi, if I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Girosi's asking, between Blended and The Wedding Singer, what is your favorite off-camera memory of working with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore?
I think on this one, we went on safari, and to be shooting a movie and being we actually shot on safari. Just the moment of standing there while we're shooting the scene in the middle of this most gorgeous backdrop. We shot it at dusk, thinking this is an amazing jobs that we all have, that we get to do what we love, make movies, and we get to do it in these amazing locations that, you know, you could only probably end up going on because of a movie.
Now, I've got one more question for you.
Okay,
I know I said that was the last one. I'm going to cheat and ask one more.
Cheat.
You know, they're probably my favorite Kevin James film. And I'm a little biased because I'm an MMA guy and whatever.
Cool.
But was Here Comes the Boom. You've got a really great ability. We've talked about some of your older films with Adam. As a director, just to elicit laughs out of an audience. And I know, you know, comedy is probably the most subjective thing out of all of the subjective world of film. But what is it about you as a director that you're able to tap into audiences and understand what it is that will make them laugh, that will get that response emotionally and humor-wise from the audience? What characteristics about you as a filmmaker allow you to do that so well?
What characteristics about me? I mean, life is tough sometimes, and you have to laugh. I mean, that's how I get through life. But as far as sort of how I approach it when I make a movie, is that what you're asking?
Sure, yeah.
I think for me, I don't like a comedy that's just a joke bag. I like that the third act, you're really rooted into the characters. And the only way to do that is to have the movie be grounded enough. And I guess that's the hard thing about comedy, because you have to go a little bit bigger than life, but you have to have grounded characters. And when I read a script, I always say, is what they're doing emotionally true? If a character suddenly does something that you don't believe, you lose the audience. But if you make it emotionally true, they take the ride. And then when it comes to the comedic rhythm that's been working for me, I always love black comedies. Black comedies, you know, dark comedies. It's like you're laughing. I shoot you in the head. Everybody's guards down. It's really effective. I think what a rhythm I've found that I do that's the opposite is in a scene, if something's starting to go a little too emotional or right at the edge of emotion, let people laugh. And what happens is the audience starts to trust the filmmaking. And by the third act, because I didn't like anybody roll their eyes, they take the emotional ride a little bit further than they may have trusted. And I think that's what's been working in some movies like Boom and Blended, because they sort of do get to an emotional place. And people seem to take the ride. So I feel blessed that I get to do what I do. And the fact that it's working, I'm going to keep trying to do it.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention my wife is a big foodie and loves stuff. You've got a food show, actually. Just tell everybody about your show.
All right, out of nowhere, my best friend that I grew up with since I was 7 is a chef. He asked me to do a show. I got picked up for Travel Channel. It's called Chow Masters. We travel the United States, and we find the best comfort food, and we give the winner $10,000. And it's kind of a crazy on-the-road food show. It's a little bit different than all the other ones out there. So it's been fun for me. It's not my day job, I say, but it's a good time. I like to eat, if you can't tell.
Well, Frank, listen, congratulations on the film. We're excited about having it in AMC theaters. And folks, I just want to remind you once again that Blended is opening in AMC theaters everywhere. Head on over to www.amc theaters for all your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information for Blended. Frank, so much thank you
awesome,
for being
man.
here.
Thank
really
you so much.
appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate it.
And now it's time for us to get on with the movie news of the day. So, Chrisley, let's throw it over to you.
All right, guys. Set photos have been released from James Wan's upcoming Fast and Furious 7. The photos reveal Cody and Caleb Walker, the brothers of the late Paul Walker, who have stepped in to help finish Paul's scenes in order to give his character, Brian O'Connor, a proper conclusion. John, what do you make of these initial set photos of the Walker brothers on set?
It's kind of inspiring, actually, when you look over and you see these pictures and you see them on set. Look, I'm going to fully admit this. When the idea first came up and Universal put out the press release that we are going to get the brothers in, and to me it felt almost like a little bit of a stunt. It felt a little bit like of a publicity stunt. But they've done a really good job since then, making me now just see it as no, this is a really nice thing. And when you see pictures like this, it really kind of caramelizes that it really is, and it's kind of special. So for me, I really like it. Amy Rose, what about you?
I really like it as well, and not to mention, he looks really similar to Paul. I mean, they really do look exceptionally related. I mean, everything about
Especially that one with Ludacris. Seriously, if you didn't tell me that wasn't an old picture of Paul Walker with him, I would have just assumed it was Paul Walker.
Honestly, so I really think that not only is it special because, you know, film fans were cheated, but his family above all, they were cheated. And for them to take part in this and honor their brother and be able to help him finish the work that pretty much was the bread and butter of his entire career, I think it's really special. And I think it was the classiest way to finish the film and actually give him the proper send-off that he's not gonna have. So I am actually pleasantly surprised as well, because when I saw the initial photo, one of the brothers looks exceptionally young. I was like, how is that gonna work? But I'm liking what I'm seeing on here, and I think that it was a very classy move.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's such a perfect tribute. Not only does it make sense for the film, and it's a perfect way to continue the shooting of the movie, but it's also a nice touch. It's bringing together his real family with his on-screen family. And I agree, I had to do a double take when I saw these photos, because he's obviously got the same haircut as Paul. Cody, he looks very similar to Paul in these pictures.
Good looking.
Good looking, those Walker boys, very good looking. So it's so lovely. I can't wait to see the final result.
And by the way, I'm now suddenly being joined by Amy Rose Eisenbach and Alicia Moreau.
Magic!
Magic!
All right, what's next?
We recently learned that Steven Spielberg was interested in directing Matt Charman's true-life Cold War drama, and that Tom Hanks was attached to star in it. Now it's being reported that none other than the Coen Brothers are rewriting the script. The film tells the true story of James Donovan, an attorney who was put into the center of the Cold War when he negotiated the release of downed U-2 spy plane pilot Gary Powers. Amy Rose, would you like to see a Coen Brothers Steven Spielberg movie starring Tom Hanks?
This is like talent overload for me. I mean, Coen Brothers, we had that fabulous question before about the Mount Rushmore of directors. They were absolutely on mine. Their films are so distinctive, even when they're not, you know, both directing and one's a producer or writer or whatever. Just their collaborative style it's magic. It's absolute magic, and I'm just so in awe of their work. And they are not just bound to one genre. I mean, their latest, Inside Llewyn Davis, it was mixed. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was magical and special and real. And Oscar Isaac, don't get me started. But this seems like such an unusual film for them, and that's probably why I like it as well. Add Steven Spielberg, stop it. Tom Hanks, forget about it. Like, it's absolute perfection. And I mean, they can do everything. I know they're known for quirky and unique kind of characters, but No Country for Old Men, that was dark. I mean, they've definitely touched a lot. And Fargo, and I mean, there's so many within their repertoire. It's just amazing. So I could not be more excited about this. This is kind of a dream project. And Steven Spielberg, we were talking about this, he is doing more period pieces. And this is a dark film for him.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about that. And Tom Hanks after Captain Phillips, I mean, just stop. So
if this all actually comes to pass, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, and jump in the comments section and let us know some other examples if you will, but if this all comes to pass, I will be hard-pressed to ever think of a film ever that had a higher caliber of talent crammed into who the writers are, who the director is, and who your lead performer is. Like because you're talking in like top 5 all time across the board.
Yeah, triple threat.
I mean, I honestly can't think of another film that like you can name to me like maybe a Scorsese and De Niro film and stuff like that. But who's the screenwriter on it?
I would put Tom Hanks above De Niro. I mean, just in terms of acting ability, and I love De Niro.
There are others who would agree, and there's
Yeah.
some who would disagree. Alicia, how do you see this?
Yeah, this is filmgasm worthy. This is like dream and it has Oscar written all over it,
All
even before
over
you
it.
even read a word of the script. I mean, the Coen Brothers, they can vary from brutal violence to wry humor. Spielberg is the master of the war epic, and Tom Hanks plays leaders so well.
Yeah.
This story sounds fascinating, and to me, this is the perfect match. The Coen Brothers have only had a few films that they've written which they haven't directed come to the big screen. But it seems like that's what they're doing lately, because they also wrote Angelina Jolie's film Unbroken, which is coming out later this year. So I cannot wait to see this one.
Ooh, sing more for us, girl.
All right, now, as you guys know, we're shooting the show live, and for those of you who are watching us live right now, unfortunately, YouTube is giving us an issue. We're just getting audio only and only a black screen right now. But don't worry, watch the videos when we put it up on YouTube a little bit later. But in doing this show live, sometimes the news breaks after we've written the show notes, and a significant piece of news has just broken. This is being confirmed by Variety magazine right now. The title for the Batman vs. Superman movie has dropped. And here is the official title. The official title of Man of Steel 2 is actually Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Whoa, nice one.
Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And I want to thank all of you guys who are on the chat board who just brought that to my attention. That's one of the great things about doing it live. We got all these guys in the live chat board saying, hey, John, this just happened.
Wow.
Once again, let me say this again.
Wow.
The title of the movie is Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Okay.
So, John, tell us, what do you think?
Okay, literally, I just heard this. I just read this. So here's my initial reaction to this. My initial reaction is, one, a little surprise. I really thought Man of Steel 2 would be the pre-colon title. I thought it would be Man of Steel 2, Batman vs. Superman, or Man of Steel 2, Dark Knight Returns, or something like that. But they're actually going in the title, Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I love the Dawn of Justice end title, because that is that's just admitting what we know.
Oh, yeah.
You are using this film partially as a build-up to Justice League.
Totally.
So this is a nice acknowledgement of that. I've always loved the Batman versus Superman title. Like I said, surprised it's not Man of Steel 2 hyphen something, but I'm looking at this. I like it. I like it. I think it's a good title, and I think it'll stick. And I think everybody's already been thinking of this movie as Batman versus Superman anyway.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling at some point it was probably the plan to be Man of Steel 2, Dawn of Justice. But I bet you, I'm almost willing to bet anything. Damn it, we just had a Warner Brothers rep in here. Where'd she go?
Where'd she go?
I'm not
Get her
kidding.
back.
We just had our Warner Brothers rep in here, and she just left with Frank. And I want to, maybe she knew she had to sneak out of here before this dropped.
Go.
So I love, Amy Rose, you just heard this. What's your initial reaction to this?
I like it as well. I know we've been operating under the working title Batman vs. Superman, and I've gone on record many times saying I wanted Superman to get his own sequel. But now that we're getting the Face Off the World's Finest, even though it's not called that, I'm totally on board. Ben Affleck looks like a beast. So I mean, it's on, and I do think it's really clever. And you know, my whole hesitation is I don't want this to be the Justice League Origins film, but it is going to lead beautifully into it. And I think the title demands full attention. It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I like it.
Dawn of Justice. I can hear that in a trailer voice.
Dawn of Justice.
I like it. I didn't think they would keep Batman versus Superman, but I like that because that's why we want to see the movie.
Yes.
We want to see these two together. So great title.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this probably for the next
day.
hour. No, seriously, I mean, Batman versus Superman is the way to go. There were still people up until today would argue with me, say, no, they're not going to fight each other. I'm like, you don't understand. Zack Snyder specifically said at Comic-Con, they're going to confront. Okay, so
it's not Batman and Superman.
No, it's Batman versus Superman. I'm excited. Chrisley, what about you? You heard this thing. You're kind of a vested interest in the whole, DC film universe. What do you think about this title?
I'm super excited that we're going to see them against each other because we have been hearing that constantly where fans are saying they're not going to be against each other, they're going to team up, and maybe they will at the end, but to see them go against each other, especially those two actors, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, very cool. All right, folks, well, we'll reach that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Chrisley's got a couple of other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then Alicia, Amy Rose, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chrisley, what do we got?
A new international trailer has been released for the upcoming Wachowski sibling sci-fi epic Jupiter Ascending. The film stars Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. Alicia, buy or sell this new trailer?
Buy, all hail Queen Mila Kunis. The Wachowskis always do. Mila Kunis. Yeah, the Wachowskis always do great visuals, and this trailer shows more of the story. We get to see, I think they're doing like the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey story that they did with The Matrix, where it starts in the real world, a call to reason, goes through tests and enemies, and then the resurrection at the end. That's what they do so well, and the visuals, wow, looks epic.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this. I think this looks awful. I think the trailers I've seen for this so far, I think have been terrible. But I'll say this: I thought the Dread trailers were terrible, and I ended up loving that movie. And this is a sci-fi action film. You got a pretty good chance you're gonna win over John Campea with a sci-fi. So we're gonna see it. I still haven't been convinced. We talked about this the other day about Channing Tatum in a dramatic kind of role outside of comedy. I've never been impressed with him yet, but he has been getting better and better and better and better and better. And so I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not sold on the trailer for me to sell.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm hesitantly going to buy it as well, mostly for the visuals. I think that the plot, from what I'm gathering from the materials thus far, it looks pretty recycled. It doesn't look that unique. And we know The Matrix is, their big claim to fame. And it was fantastic, at least the first one. But yeah, and Mila Kunis, I really like her, but I also don't think she's a phenomenal actress. So add two stars that are both good, but not incredible. We'll see what happens. But the visuals, I am signed up for.
Visuals do look really good.
I'm buying it. It looks great.
They do look really good.
Gorgeous.
All right, what's next?
Director J.J. Abrams released a video this morning offering fans a chance to win a cameo in the upcoming Star Wars Episode 7. The contest is part of a charity effort called Force for Change, where each donation will fund UNICEF's Innovation Labs, which helps children around the world. Fans that don't win the cameo can still win other cool rewards with their donation, like exclusive shirts and posters for the film. Now I know what I'm doing after the show. John, buy or sell Abrams' contest announcement.
Well, I actually have an AMC credit card, so the accountants over at AMC are going to be seeing some massive charges on there pretty soon to get John Campea.
For the children!
But it's for the kids!
For the kids!
For the kids!
Yes.
I need to be in Star Wars for the kids. I think this is wonderful. I think it's always great when you have people in a position, unique positions that they can do something for good in the midst of doing what they're already doing. We try to do, we had a certain degree of success in trying to do something like that with our AMC 24-hour marathon for the Typhoon, and it's awesome seeing Lucasfilm, Disney, J.J. Abrams getting involved with this to do this as well. Because it's really, what does it cost them? Not a lot, but how much good can they do? They can do a lot of good, and I think you're going to see a lot of good come out of this, Alicia.
Yeah, I love this. JJ's so giving. I mean, we all know about his company, Bad Robot, but did you know he has another company called Good Robot, which is all about charity and giving back.
I did not know that.
So he is so great at this, and a chance for someone to be part of history and do some good at the same time. You got competition, John. I'm signing up too.
Oh, I am too. I already have my Leia costume destined out. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I read this morning, and it really warms my heart. I love when people use their power and their status and just their ability to reach people for something good and beautiful like this. It really makes me happy, and it also freaks me out with excitement because I want to be in Star Wars too. So we're gonna have a little office pool here going on. But yeah, hats off to you, JJ and team. A very commendable, respected effort.
All right, it is time for mailbag, folks. Listen, if you've got a question or a topic you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime. Just email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Every day we take a couple questions from the mailbag. Also, don't forget on Saturdays and Sundays we do AMC mailbag, where all we do is take your mailbag questions. But for now, we got a couple questions lined up. So, Chris Lee, what do we have?
Guy Lennox writes, with all the buzz about Leonardo DiCaprio deserving an Oscar for his films, which of his roles do you think is most deserving of an Oscar if you disregard the competition from that year? Thanks, and keep up the good work.
That is a great little caveat you put on the end there.
Yeah.
Disregarding the other competition, because usually that's the problem, is who he's up against.
Exactly.
I've always really thought his role, nobody will put this as his top one, but I always thought his performance in Catch Me If You Can was marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, absolute. I don't even think he got nominated for that. But that is one for me that whenever I rewatch that film, that's the one that always reminds me, damn, he's good.
Yeah.
Damn, he's good.
He's so great.
And then, Django Unchained, but that would have been a Best Supporting Actor thing, and he was up against two other guys who were even better than him that year, with Christoph Waltz and Samuel L. Jackson. Both of them. I mean, that might be some of the Best Supporting Actor performances in one film ever.
That's
was
what
Django.
Tarantino does.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, for me, it's gonna be Catch Me If You Can.
For me, it's The Aviator, because
so good.
Leonardo is so great at playing unhinged characters, and there's no one more unhinged than his version of Howard Hughes. The way you see him descend into madness over the course of the movie.
And he did get nominated for that, didn't he?
He did, but
Right.
he was up against Jamie Foxx for Ray, so
he wasn't going to lose that year.
You can't beat that flashy performance.
It's really hard. This question is so difficult because each one, he always fires on all cylinders.
It's amazing.
Revolutionary Road was a really, really powerful one as well. Gangs of New York is one of my personal favorite films. So
but he often gets
it's
overlooked
phenomenal.
for that because of who?
The Butcher.
Daniel Day-Lewis is in there, like, stealing everything, so it's hard.
And like Blood Diamond. I mean, literally, Departed. We could go on his whole film.
He's so brilliant.
He's brilliant in everything. It's time. It's just time, Academy. Let's do this.
Eventually, if he keeps performing at this level, some year,
it's gonna happen.
It will be his year.
And Catch Me If You Can. His chemistry with Tom Hanks.
So good.
Phenomenal.
So good. All right, what's next?
Harry Green writes, my question is about film festivals. What is the main goal of a film festival, and how does it differ from CinemaCon or Comic-Con? Are audiences viewing the entire film, or are they just see about 20 minutes of it? Thanks, and I can't wait to get home from work this evening and see what you guys thought of X-Men Days of Future Past.
We are going to be shooting our X-Men Days of Future Past spoilers review today. Did
I lie, John?
No.
That's what I
You
thought.
did not lie.
Trust the X-Men addict.
Okay, but to the question at hand, I've taken a couple of films to film festivals, and no, you don't just go and show segments of films, you go and show your film. And different people have different reasons for going, but amongst the most popular ones, number one, is to try to attract a buyer. Because you go there as an independent filmmaker, you max out all your personal credit cards to make that film, you want to take it there and have somebody buy it. So there's that. A lot of times people just take them because they want to just start building up a campaign for it. So they'll take it to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 film festivals, hopefully win a couple of jury prizes at them, use that as a part of their marketing, get the word out there about their film, and then because they already have some kind of plan what they want to do with their film. But those are the two most common ones. The other ones is just to go and party. And get your film in front of an audience.
Bunch of movies.
Yeah,
love it.
What do you guys think?
Well, I love film festivals. They're my jam because I love seeing 5 movies in one day. So as press, you get to see movies before anything else. And it's a bit of a Russian roulette. You don't know what you're in for. That's when a lot of the award season buzz starts to happen. Buyers, of course, are there. Studios are there. The Weinsteins are there. If you're interested, always there trying to buy their stuff. So if you're interested in more of the behind the scenes of a film festival like Cannes, there's actually a really great documentary called Seduced and Abandoned, which is on iTunes, and it's got Alec Baldwin and director James Toback, and it shows how they're pitching a movie to these crazy rich investors, trying to get it made at the same time, negotiating the behind the scenes of Cannes. So I love film festivals.
Yeah, and beyond just the film aspect of it, the networking part is off the charts because it's all these creative, successful people in, you know, the same area, like, oh, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm this, and like not even the big names. And that's how it all starts, you know, just kind of enchanting people and sharing a vision and moving like that. So yeah, and the partying's not too bad. We're not gonna lie about that. But yeah, it's much more film focused. Comic-Con is about properties and franchises, and yeah, they tease, and there's a couple screenings, but not to the extent of film festivals. That's what it is about. Whole different ballgame.
All right, folks, well, that'll do it for us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Special thanks again to Frank Caracci, who came in here, director of the new film Blended, and my two all-time favorite Adam Sandler films, The Waterboy and Wedding Singer. Really excited for this, excited for you guys to see it. And, of course, don't forget, lots of great films playing AMC theaters this weekend, including Blended, including X-Men, Days of Future Past, including a lot of great stuff like the films you see behind me. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Don't forget, click on the subscribe button, become a subscriber to our channel. Make sure you like us. Click the thumbs up on this video. If you want an audio-only version of this podcast, you can look down in the description of this video and you'll see the link to our iTunes so you can listen to us on the way to work or however you like to listen to your podcasts. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, the now immediately departing for Japan, or China, I should say, Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you online?
You can find me on my blog, malonesmovieminute.com, or on Twitter at Alicia Malone, Instagram. I'll try to do some pictures from China if I have internet access.
That would be awesome. Sitting right beside her is, of course, senior editor of Movie News here at AMC Movie News, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
Did you almost forget my name?
No.
I'm taking a breath.
Just
I wasn't looking at you.
It's good to breathe. It's good to breathe. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy Rosie. And I'm off to the magical Lightning in a Bottle Festival, so I'll see you next week.
Yay.
And our lovely host today, Miss Chrisley Kennedy. Chrisley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chrisley.
And you can find me on the various social media channels just at John Campia, or tomorrow night at the Burbank 16 watching X-Men again. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.